What if the key to success wasn't about making money first, but helping others? Callum didn't just build a business. He built a movement. From creating content to launching Help Bnk with Squibb, he has proven that when you invest in people, the rewards follow. In this interview, we dive into the real secrets behind building a brand with purpose, how loyalty and community can take you further than money ever will, and why failing fast is the key to winning big. If you are an entrepreneur looking for real, no BS advice, or just someone to know deep down they're meant for more, this is your sign.
I think social media is an ever-changing space, and truly, this is something I've learned recently actually, networking with other successful creators and stuff, is that truly, I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing with social media. I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing with content. We're all kind of still learning.
Hi everyone, my name is Belly, and
If you're subscribed, that's wonderful.
first of all, I would like to let you know that if you're new in this channel, we embrace your authenticity. In this channel, we are always focusing positivity, spreading what is good for you, for mental health, and most importantly, about successful stories. That's why today, we're going to dive deep into marketing, content creation, and obviously entrepreneurship. He's the co-founder of Help Bnk, and also he's the man behind Squibb's successful rocketing succeed on social media. He has been working on the content creation and social media for Squibb for some time. Let's welcome to Callum.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate you coming all this way to interview me, so let's do it. Looking forward to it.
We're gonna do a little dynamic today. 2021, I think, you posted on LinkedIn.
I know what this is now. I was confused. For reference, they haven't told me anything about this. They just said, okay, we're gonna do a dynamic, we're gonna have some fun. I know what this is now. I get it, yeah, okay.
Okay, so you were doing a dynamic where you went like fundraising, giving money to the NHS, right? So this one will be £1 each, and I'm gonna pay, and we're gonna decide which fundraising we're gonna do. Probably something for Venezuela. Can you explain it better and explain why?
Well, I think what you're gonna get me to do is attempt to throw the tea bags into the mug. Yeah?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Why? Why were you doing this?
It was so long ago, I've actually kind of forgotten.
Yeah, well, it was a dynamic that you did to just fundraise money for the NHS. I'm assuming because after COVID, or I thought it was so fun the way that you were trying to, and you struggled a lot.
So I started off this challenge thinking, how hard can it be?
Mate, they're going everywhere other than that bloody cup. What's going on? Oh! Got to be excited there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if I've improved over the years, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't say I do this very often, so I don't know if I've had enough practice, but we'll see.
Well, I'm not rich, okay?
But you want me to start?
Yes,
Okay, right.
please.
Oh,
One, now let me try. Okay, while we're doing this, can you tell me about Help Bnk? Tell me how does it work, what it is. Tell me everything about Help Bnk.
Help Bnk is on a mission to help people to pursue their dreams. So what Help Bnk is as a platform, it's a place where people can go and get help. They can go there, they can ask questions. Other members of our community can get them answered for them, and that's a little bit about how it works. But we're basically building a competitor to LinkedIn, not a place where people go to post about their careers and flex, but rather a place where people can go and help each other with their careers, to help each other pursue their dreams. So that's what we're doing.
You're right.
In reality, what we've discovered that we're actually doing, at first we kind of set out to try and help people, but what we're actually doing is helping people help people, you know, because we're actually helping the people that want to help the people that need the help. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it's a bridge. You are a bridge. You're saying because I'm the bridge. Yeah, we did it. How much money we have? Okay, good, because I'm not rich.
With Help Bnk, this is why the work that we do matters to me so much. We're actually trying to provide an alternate option to the education system. We're trying to fix the education system because, like I said at the start of the interview, you know, so many people are pushed down a path that maybe they don't want to go down, or they don't realize that entrepreneurship is an option that might allow them to finance and fund their own dreams and pursue their dreams for a living. What we're trying to do with Help Bnk really is we're trying to free humanity.
Sounds beautiful. Me with my boyfriend, we had once a business that we want to bring back. It was called Awaken, and it was about t-shirts with a meaning. So the meaning was about the evolution of the human and what do we want to do in the world, in the life, so our purpose and things like that. What motivated you to start or to take the step, and what impact do you think that it's gonna do for the society?
Well, this was very much Simon's idea. He came to me one day after I'd been working with him on a freelance basis for a little while, and he said to me, hey, I'm starting this company. It's going to be a creator-led, influencer-led brand. I need a content guy. Are you in? And I was like, hell yeah. And a couple of months into working with Simon on what's called the Purposeful Project, now we are Help Bnk, he said to me, I want to give you equity. I want you to be a shareholder in this business. That was great for me. And he said, but I want you to invest. So he asked me, how much savings do you have in your bank account? And after, being very careful with money, saving money, putting money away growing up, I had £15,000 in my bank account.
Okay.
So I told him I have 15K. And he said, sure, put that in. And I did. So
yeah, because that's not, for example, you can buy a franchise or a restaurant with that money.
So, you cannot. It's not possible. So with that money that you've been saving for such a long time, you couldn't even become an entrepreneur without
that money. Really, it was more symbolic for Simon. Simon's a multi-millionaire. He has more money than he'll ever need. He didn't need that 15K as investment into the business. But what he did need was to make sure that I was committed. And he liked me, he trusted me, he wanted me as a co-founder in the business. He needed to make sure that I would put my money where my mouth was. And the mission and the purpose of what we do to free humanity and help people mattered to me so much that I was willing to do that.
Of course. Yeah, me too. I will go for the same. Let's talk about Simon Squibb, because we mentioned him so many times now. So following the interview, you start working with him more closely. Can you walk us through how that transition happened? You mentioned that you were discussing about your mental health and how can you, well, not exactly mental health, but how can you organize your life, you were saying, right? What it was like to start collaborating with him on building the Help Bnk and growing his social media presence. Because, I don't know if you know it, but when you started talking to him, apparently, according to the internet, he had already like 6,000 followers on Instagram,
yes.
Apparently. And now he's 1 million, over 2 million actually on Instagram. And 1 million, that's your new milestone, over 1 million on YouTube. That's something super difficult to achieve. So obviously you were there since the beginning, let's say, because he wasn't that huge, even though he was 30 years of career. Social media is not exactly the same. That's something that so many people don't understand, especially the entrepreneurs, for example, the massive entrepreneurs, they don't believe about social media.
He was a business expert, but at the time, back then, he wasn't a social media expert. Now he is, of course, after building what we've built together. But I just want to preface, this isn't just the work of myself. This is the work of my co-founder, Jack, as well. This is the work of all of the team that we've built over the last few years. We have a team of 15 that are behind the scenes working on this. So it's not just me. Of course, we've built the formats and we've built the team and we've been there from the start. But this isn't just me. We have a fantastic team of A players behind the scenes that all care just as much as I do to make our mission happen. So I just want to give a little bit of credit to them before we jump into this.
That's so cute. Yes, I think that this is really important that we remember that even though you are the head or you are thinking about so many things that you have to do or you organize, there is a team behind you. It is really nice that you are giving the credit. But my question was, can you walk us through how the transition happened when you start since the very first interview with Simon and then collaborating with him on the social media and then becoming part of Help Bnk? So can you walk us through that transition?
Yeah, so I guess Simon and I, we after we first did the podcast, we met up a couple of times for a coffee, almost more mentorship sessions for myself. I think Simon, he just saw something in me I think he saw my sense of purpose, which I think not a lot of people really unlock until they're much further down the line into life. I got lucky, to be honest. You know, Simon needed a content guy. I was very good at content, but by no means a business expert at that time. So it was just good timing, right place, right time. But the key is to capitalize on it, right?
Exactly, yes.
I'm very proud of what we've built over the last few years.
Yeah, that's really good what you have built. Now let's talk about yourself, just yourself. You travel a lot. So on your highlights on Instagram, you went to Barbados, you went to Hong Kong, Indonesia, Dubai. How many countries do you count them?
I didn't count them. I'm very lucky to have been quite well traveled over the years.
How these travels has changed your mind? Obviously, I'm assuming you are more open on social media marketing. What are your reference from them? What are you taking from this?
Yeah, I guess there's two things, right? So traveling the world, it gives you perspective and it allows you to see things from another point of view. So, you know, you go to a place like Indonesia where a lot of people there are very poor and they're struggling. And, you know, a lot of people's mission for their whole lives in places like Indonesia is just to get off of their island, you know? And I was in a place that was fortunate enough to just fly halfway around the world just by booking a ticket. And I'm very lucky to have been born in the UK and I appreciate that. So it gives me the perspective of that. I'm lucky. I think it's important that I do something with that. You know, I want to help people to help people. I want to help people free themselves and maybe some of those people in Indonesia, maybe they can go on Help Bnk and they can use the resources that we provide for people to free themselves and allow themselves to live the life that they wish. So that's the first part. And I think the second part is I'm also very fortunate to go to a lot of places that are very inspiring. You know, big cities like Hong Kong, big cities like Dubai. You know, that gives me the perspective of the other side of the scale where there's a lot of wealth and there's a lot of, in some ways, people living their dream, but also in some ways, people that have had all this success and they're still not living their dream. And that motivates me as well.
Yeah, there are machines, not like humans, because you start following the life is so speedy that you forget that you have to relax and...
You know, on paper, these people are successful. You know, you look at their net worths or something and some might say they've got it all, but they don't, you know, because they don't have purpose. You know, they don't have a mission. They're not fulfilled. They're trying to fill a void inside of themselves by chasing more money, you know, chasing cars and girls and watches and all this rubbish, when really what we should be doing is taking our skills in life and taking our own sense of meaning and using that to power up making the world a better place.
That's right. I wanted to invite you so badly to this show, let's call it. I'm thinking that I'm going to rebrand my channel again and I'm going to call it I'm going to unmask myself and say, this is a podcast. Not a YouTube channel, but yeah. It's because I want to embrace the authenticity of people, because as I always say, I'm a Venezuelan, but also British. So I'm not fitting in anywhere now because I've been so long abroad of Venezuela. So I'm quite separated from the reality. And at the same time, I'm not British at all in some way because of my accent, because of the way that I act. You know, there's so many differences between me and the people that are around me, for example. And if you follow your dreams, what you want to do, you spread the positivity. You can just carry on your life with your authenticity, with who you are. You don't have to change to be in a place, to feel like you are part of that place. You need to feel that you are someone that has a meaning, purpose, and that's the reason why you had to be in this show.
Basically, you know, you have your own gifts. My personal philosophy on life and business and entrepreneurship is that, and this is why I personally love capitalism, is that it allows people to bring into the world their own gifts. You know, they might have an idea of a certain product that makes the world a better place, or a certain service that they can provide to help people, you know, and they can manifest that and bring that into reality and get rewarded for doing so. So your gifts of journalism and marketing, you can create this show and share it with the world at scale on platforms like YouTube, and you can get rewarded for that. I think that's beautiful.
Oh, I think
yeah.
It is, yeah. So you can also follow your dreams and find what you can do, find what you want to do, and just try to do that. You have to learn, you have to keep practicing. I started this channel in 2000. 2020, I think. But I wanted for so long. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy. Well, let's carry on with our conversation. I want to know about you, about social media evolution. There are a couple of questions that I would like to know. I know that you're on and off on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I think that LinkedIn right now is so powerful. I'm so in love with LinkedIn. I prefer LinkedIn than any other platform. I don't know why.
Sure.
But obviously, Instagram is your free time. You just scrolling. Which one do you prefer? How do you feel about evolution of social media and the growth so quickly? And the next question about that is about Clubhouse.
Okay, sure. Clubhouse, yeah. I remember Clubhouse.
I love it. I still remember I spent hours there, and it was so complicated because, you know, you have to take some time, like turns. So you have to wait for the rest of the people. They have to explain their questions or what they want to say. And networking was brilliant. I remember I grew so much from my learning and the connections. It finished so quickly. I don't know why it didn't go further. So that's my question about social media. You can have Meta, that's been there for years, and LinkedIn, that is growing. And then you can have Clubhouse, that it was really good, but it just ended. So what do you think about that evolution of social media?
Sure. So I think there will always be social media platforms, because some platforms might spring up, like Clubhouse, and introduce a different format, you know, audio only content and stuff, live content. And Clubhouse, I don't know if it's still going. I know not many people use it now, right? And look, I'm not necessarily a tech entrepreneur. I'm a content entrepreneur. All I know is that something else will spring up in its place. That's why you have things like Twitter Spaces, which is, let's be honest, a complete rip-off of Clubhouse. You know, so I think there will, like, I think Gary Vee says something along the lines of, like, you know, there will always be opportunity to grab attention. There will always be certain platforms that spring up and fall off, or, you know, and your job is to learn how to master these platforms as they come and go. I think social media is an ever-changing space, and truly, this is something I've learned recently, actually, networking with other successful creators and stuff, is that truly, I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing with social media. I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing with content. We're all kind of still learning. You grow instincts and you grow an understanding for certain things to keep in mind when building out content formats and creating content and creating videos or whatever it is. But truly, everyone's still learning. And social media is constantly a changing game. The algorithms change all the time, multiple times a year. You know,
multiple times
and
per
everyone
day
has to shift. The truth of social media is that no one really knows what they're doing, and that's exactly the opportunity. As these things change and as algorithms change and platforms come and go, that's your opportunity to take advantage of that and grab a little bit of that attention while it's there.
On your LinkedIn, because we were just talking about social media, you mentioned once that we need to learn from our failures. Can you tell me a bit about that? How do you feel about learning from failures and how important it is for us to grow?
Yeah, it's massively important. I think people go through life and go through entrepreneurship with this idea that they're never going to fail or they should never fail. I actually welcome failures, because failures are lessons, right? So for the longest time with the YouTube channel that we've been growing for the last 3 years, Simon's YouTube channel, I was failing every day. If you go on that YouTube channel and you scroll back, take a look at some of the thumbnails, you know, take a look at some of the view counts. It's pretty bad. Some of the thumbnails are awful. But with each of those videos that I uploaded where I was failing, I was learning. So I was debriefing and I was thinking, you know, why did this video not perform? You know, could I change the thumbnail? Or, you know, the retention dropped off at this certain part of the video. Maybe I'm doing something wrong there. Maybe I should tighten up, make it more interesting. You know, maybe I shouldn't talk too much in that certain part of the video. So, you know, with each failure, it's an opportunity to learn. And if you go through it with that mindset and that framework, you can never lose, you know? And I think people need to get rid of this idea of failure. And again, this is something that's brought on through the education system. You know, you take an exam and it's pass and fail. It's just lessons.
Beautiful. Okay, let's gonna wrap out this because we've been here for quite some time. So some PingPong questions. Do you prefer Instagram or YouTube?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I prefer YouTube. Yeah.
Me too. Fish and chip or curry?
Curry. Definitely curry.
Let's say British.
Yeah.
Remote work at a big company or entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship.
Is that a question?
That was a really silly question.
Social media marketing or content creation? That's the difficult one.
Content creation.
Content creation?
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right. Any message that you would like to say for our community to embrace their authenticity and follow their dreams and positivity?
Yeah, I guess like I said earlier on in the interview, you only have one shot in life. Your time is finite, and every moment that you spend working a job that you hate or, not pursuing that dream that you have in the back of your mind, you're doing yourself a disservice. Get up, get out there, make the most out of life. Remember death. As morbid as that might sound, and live the life you dream of. And I think everyone can do that by checking out some of the resources that we provide. You can go on to Help Bnk and get help. If you want to, you can answer some questions and help others. You can also go to simonsquibb.com. We have a whole list of resources you can use, including, the YouTube videos and a Telegram group. We have a Discord server of 11,000 entrepreneurs all helping each other. So you can go to simonsquibb.com and all of the resources are listed there.
What's your dream?
My dream? My dream is to wake people up, I want people to wake up and realize that they can pursue their dream, and all that's stopping them is just knowledge of what's possible, knowledge of how to do it, monetize whatever it is that they love. That is your responsibility to go ahead and do that, because you have certain gifts that you are born with or you develop as you get older, and it's your duty to share that with the world.
Brilliant. All right. So thank you very much for everything that you have said, that you have shared with us. I'm super, super happy for this interview. I feel that it went way better than I expected. I learned so much from you.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, share this content, watch his channels. Obviously, search for Help Bnk and Simon Squibb. Simon, please come one day. See you soon. Bye.